What's up, YouTube? DJ Kryptonite here, man. Talking boxing, combat sports, and the like. Man, like, subscribe, comment. I guess everybody's heard, it was an audio leak last night that popped up on TikTok, and now everybody's scrambling, trying to figure out the source and that sort of thing about the leak. But essentially, the leak tells somewhat telling story about Errol Spence having a conversation with kind of an unknown person. It's a lot of assumptions and people thinking they have an idea who this particular individual is and that sort of thing. However, none of that has been confirmed. One of the latest thoughts was it being Espinoza from Showtime, the president of Showtime. I'm not exactly sure because it's very hard to make out who he's having a conversation with, but it's clear that it was recorded. It was a very poor recording, but whoever was having that conversation with Spence was clearly recording the conversation. But let's get right into it. Ultimately, Spence seemed to be frustrated with the negotiations with Terrence Crawford, and he made some comments about how Terrence Crawford was asking a lot of questions about regarding negotiations, and he wanted to speak with Al Heyman directly as opposed to using his attorney. And what he stated to Errol was, Errol suggested that what was told to him that Terrence Crawford didn't trust his attorney, so he wanted to speak with Al Heyman directly. And they I guess they had a conversation about that, and then it was also stated that Terrence Crawford didn't have all these questions when he was with Bob Arum. He said he's questioning the hell out of Al Heyman, but during the time he was under Bob Arum, he didn't have all these questions. So they're trying to figure out where all this is coming from. So it looks like the negotiations were actually going on. The problem I have with the whole deal, the audio leak is one thing. Nobody really, it kind of tells the story of Errol Spence getting a little impatient and frustrated because he said social media is wearing him out and on his back. And then he suggested that he thought the fight, based off of this leak, that the fight was going to happen around January. That's what his thought was. And now, but at the same time, it appears that Terrence Crawford was actually negotiating with BLK Prime for another fight. So the thing about it is, when you're conducting business, and business is cutthroat. Nobody's saying that isn't the case. But to negotiate in good faith is one thing. That's ultimately what the expectation is when you're negotiating for any business deal. So if you're negotiating for upwards of a year about a fight that to take place with Errol Spence, but in doing so you're still negotiating a fight on the side at the same time, that's not good business practice. That's actually being a snake in the process, and that's what appears to have been the case. And he had a whole year to get a tune-up fight. Now he's talking about this is a tune-up, and he'll reconvene in negotiations. But a tune-up, you could have had a tune-up early in the year. What was stopping you from getting a tune-up fight? So all of this being said, it looks like Terrence Crawford is the guy caught holding the bag, being the duck, I would say, or at least being the snake. I wouldn't call him a duck. I would call him more of a business snake at this point, because ultimately you were negotiating in bad faith. Anyway, we'll talk later. Like, subscribe, comment, and let me know your thoughts. I'll DJ Kryptonite getting back at you soon. Deuces.